Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the Biltwell Gringo SV. So this is going to be one of those old school, kind of cool, kind of throwback helmets. I've never worn one of these before, so this was an interesting experience to try the helmet out. Stay tuned to the end of this video. I'm going to show you how to save 10% on this helmet. So let's get into it. So like I said, this is Biltwell's Gringo SV. It's going to be a throwback helmet. See these a lot on the old school choppers. There are a lot of people that tour in these. Personally, this isn't my pick for a touring helmet. If you are new to the channel, I run three main brands. I have a Scorpion, I have two Schuberth helmets, and a Shoei. So my helmets tend to be on the higher end. But I thought it was cool to try this out. Like I said, I've never tried out a helmet that's got this really simple throwback look to it. Just kind of want to give you a glance at it, share my experiences with it. So, helmet's going to have two vents here on the top. They do move a decent amount of air. I wouldn't say that it's an overwhelming amount of air, but it's certainly going to be better than not having vents. I was out riding it. I would say it was in the mid 80s. It was pretty sufficient as far as venting. When you did stop, you certainly did heat up because it wasn't having that airflow coming through. So it wasn't... you weren't staying cool. I don't know how to explain it, but with helmets that are really ventilated, the helmet itself cools down. With this, I felt like it was getting just enough air to cool you, but maybe not the interior of the helmet down. So anyway, you're going to have this is the thing that I thought was a little weird. So with the visor here, you have to pull it out and then flip it up in the true old school style. Took me a while to get used to that because I'm used to going in the center for that GP release or the side mounts that a lot of the helmets have. So you're going to have this bolt here. You pop that down. It's going to clip on here. You're going to pull it up. You're going to pull it out and pull it up. It has solid detents. I will give it that. You can keep the helmet up. I think there's, let's see, there's one, well, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 detents in the helmet. It is extremely strong, so it was cool. I tend to ride with my visor up in traffic and things like that. Not suggested for safety, but that's how I ride. The shield on this is extremely clear. It does not have a attachment to run a pin lock, so that is something you want to keep in mind. However, and you'll see in the B-roll, I was riding in the rain on humid days, and I didn't have any issues with it fogging up at all. But your mileage may vary. Just again, sharing my personal experience. The shield itself is extremely clear. I really like the way that performed. A lot of the cheaper shields on the lower end helmets have some distortion and so forth. I didn't experience that at all. This does come available with multiple shields that you can order. I don't know the price off the top of my head for that, but they do have multiple shields for this. I know a lot of people with these old school throwbacks like that. Take the shields off, you have a screw. It does not have a quick lock to pop it off. For some people, that's going to be an issue because eventually you're going to mark up the screws if you take them off a lot. And running like a touring helmet like I do, but I also have a full tour pack. I leave my clear shield in there and I run either my mirror or my blacked out shield, and then I can pop them out pretty quick. It's just something to keep in mind. Most riders are going to ride with this and sunglasses on and then take their sunglasses off at night and so forth. So really not a drawback here. You're going to have a very small vent here in the back to bring that air up and out. So that's really going to explain why in traffic and things like that, when you're sitting, it's hard to explain. It's got it doesn't seem like it cools the helmet down entirely. It only seems to keep it cool when you're riding. It doesn't seem to, it's hard to explain, but the long story short is it doesn't flow enough air to really cool you down. So if you stop, you're going to warm right back up rather than keeping your head in the interior of the helmet closed or cold. Hopefully that made sense. So the helmet is DOT rated as well as ECE 2206. So you are going to have the higher end safety that a lot of people are looking for. You're also in the side here. Well, you're going to have the D ring for the attachment for the chin strap here. D-ring is kind of cool, right? Because the throwback, you're gonna expect that each helmet size has its own liner. The liner is comfortable, and I really do like the old school retro look. It's got that little mesh look in there. The only thing that I did find with this helmet is this is an intermediate oval shaped helmet. I found it to not be that comfortable. Now, I wear, like I said, I wear Shoeis, I wear Schuberths, I wear Scorpions. Shoei especially takes a while to break in. This is a short-term review. I didn't wear this helmet. I wasn't using it for months on end. So it may have helped, but I was getting a really bad hot spot right about here in my head. It didn't seem to go away, even just wearing it around the house and breaking it in before I rode out with it. The other thing you need to be aware of this helmet is loud. I mean loud. I wear earplugs, but for the purpose of this review, I did not wear earplugs, and let's just say I would wear earplugs. You should wear earplugs anyway, regardless of what helmet you run. I run, like I said, I run quieter helmets, and I still wear earplugs, just the way I roll, and I would consider doing that. So, this helmet retails at $299, but I can save you some money. So, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Route 32 Riding Gear in New Hope, Pennsylvania, my buddy Dom, the owner, is going to offer you 10% off your order. Now, the best part about that is not only is it going to take 10% off of this helmet, it's going to take 10% off most things that you buy from the store. So if you're looking to buy a bunch of riding gear, you can do so. All the major brands are on there. You're helping out a local business. There aren't a lot of small mom and pop motorcycle shops left. So if you could support Dom, I'd really appreciate it. He was kind enough to sponsor this video. And I thought that was a really big deal for me, and really nice that he's once again providing support for the motorcycle community. I love small business, so that's really where you want to go. Like I said, I'm kind of on the fence with this helmet. I think it's cool. It looks cool. The retro styling really isn't my thing. Like I said, it is loud, but I know a lot of people like, this look and are willing to sacrifice this. You wear earphones. It's a really cool helmet if you have like an old school bike, a traditional standard bike. I think it rocks well, maybe for bike nights and stuff like that. That's really all I had to it. Like I said, this is not my helmet. It's going to be just a simple, basic review of it. But I wanted to give you a review and show you off the helmet so you realize that, this is an option rather than spending a $900 helmet. But that's what I had. You can save 10% off the helmet as well as other items at New Hope's Route 32 Riding Gear.